ether, what speed does she measure? C. Okay, so she says, oh yes, C. Okay, now we consider another situation. Okay, so unbeknownst to Alice, in the middle of the night, her little room is accelerated and is now moving at some velocity, drifting with some velocity v, relative to the ether. Okay, so she gets up in the morning and she conducts the same experiment, very complicated experiment. She conducts the same experiment again. Okay, she's got her ruler here and she's got her clock and so on. She does exactly the same experiment. What speed is she going to measure now? Okay, so I'm going to say C. And we're assuming wave in ether. Light is a wave in ether. Okay, so just like sound in air. Okay, so don't assume anything about relativity, anything you know about special relativity. Just go back to the 1800s, think about light as a wave in ether, and you are moving with respect to that ether, you are drifting this way, and the sound is coming, or the light is coming at you this way. What speed are you going to measure? So I'm going to say C. I'm going to say C plus C. Okay, so you're going to measure C plus C. Okay, and let me sort of re-emphasize just what's going on here. If we imagine that light is a wave in ether, then what is this flashlight doing? What it's doing is it's grabbing a hold of that ether, that mechanical medium, and it's jiggling it around. Every time you set up some kind of disturbance in that ether, that disturbance moves relative to the still ether. It radiates outwards in all directions relative to the still ether. So as this flashlight, even though this flashlight is in motion over here with respect to the ether, okay, the waves move at a speed c relative to the still ether. Okay, so here you have waves coming at you, or moving with respect to the still ether with speed c, but you're drifting in that ether towards those waves. Okay, so you're going to measure c plus c. Okay. So on day one, Alice finds she does a simple experiment involving the electromagnetic phenomenon, namely light. Okay, and she finds that, oh yes, this strange stuff called light is C. Okay, and then she wakes up the next morning, repeats the experiment, and finds a different result. Finds now C plus D, and says, well, something has changed. And so she can then determine something about the motion of her room based upon observations of a physical phenomenon confined to the inside of that room. Okay, so even though the room is sealed, okay, all the windows are drawn, all the blinds are drawn, she can't see outside, she can't see if she's moving from the day before or not, or whatever. She can just conduct a simple experiment that takes place entirely within her little box and determine something about the motion of her box. Okay? So that's completely counter to this relativity principle. Okay? So it was not at all obvious at that time for electromagnetic phenomenon. Okay, and that was the problem. Okay, so what Einstein wanted to do is say, this is such a simple and beautiful principle that we would like to extend that from mechanical phenomena also to electromagnetic phenomena. So Einstein wanted both. Not all physical phenomena. Okay, he wanted it to be true that anyone in any inertial motion, non-accelerated motion, can consider themselves to be at rest, exactly as if they're at rest with respect to this ether. Okay, so the results of any experiment don't depend upon your motion. And so everything that happens inside any physical phenomenon inside a closed box happens the same way, regardless of the motion of that box. You can't determine the motion of doing experiments inside the box, whether those experiments be mechanical or electromagnetic. The results of all experiments are the same as if you were at rest, in quotation marks. Okay, so the point here is, if light is a wave in ether, there's a problem with this principle. It's not obvious as it applies. But what if light is not a wave in ether? Yeah. So that's one. Yeah, that's a good question. So if we think about this as air, and we're moving with respect to air, then what we are imagining is that the air can pass through. Okay, so when this person is moving with respect to the air, they walk in on 3D fields. Okay, otherwise the air will be at rest with respect to this person. Right? So we imagine that person is actually standing on a platform, an open platform like this, and drifting with a velocity d relative to still air. Okay, and then we receive C plus D. How do we know that actually sort of with the air in the velocity? Yeah, that's a good point. How do we know the ether when we just drift along? So here's a massive object like this, and maybe that massive object would grab onto that ether and drag it with it. Okay, so people talk about that sort of thing. And they conclude, well, that can't be happening because, suppose the ether were some physical substance. Okay, and if that were happening, then here's the sun, and here are planets going around the sun like this, then those planets would also be dragging ether along with them. And if the ether is any kind of a physical substance, that's going to produce a drag. And then the planets would actually slow down and spiral in. Okay, so they made careful measurements of the planets. They didn't see any of this spiraling in. Okay, and lots of experiments were done to try to detect drag and fluids moving and so on and so forth, and it was a very complicated set of ideas floating around here. Yeah, that's right. So if it were true that material like matter moving through that ether, drag the ether, then my hands would drag the ether as well. And I just go like this, and I'll be sitting on my radius of that ether, and I'll be radiating light. So, okay. So there are problems with this whole ether right here. There's this whole mechanical bond of light. Okay, so the question then is, okay, so it's clear that if you have a wave in ether in mind, it's clear there's a solve of this that you want here. Okay, it's not this. But what if light is not a wave in ether? Okay, what if light is not a mechanical vibration of some physical medium? What if light is itself some kind of physical medium in its own right? Okay, so at the same time, in the same year, Einstein wrote a number of very important influential papers. And one paper that came just before the special relativity paper was his paper, it's called the photoelectric effect paper. Maybe you are aware of this paper. Okay, so what was the goal of this paper? The goal, or at the beginning of the paper, Einstein states very clearly the goal is to try to understand, or to try to bring electromagnetic phenomena on the same footing with mechanical phenomena. Okay, so for example, you think about, say, baseball. I throw a baseball like this. That baseball is moving through space. So I go into empty space, I can throw a baseball, and it can move through a vacuum. Okay, so I can have a chunk of matter moving through a vacuum. And that chunk of matter has various properties. It has energy, it has momentum, it's spinning, it has angular momentum, all that stuff. So I can have matter moving through a vacuum and having energy, momentum, angular momentum, all that stuff. What if light is not a vibration of some existing material filling everything? What if light is self? That light has momentum, light has energy, energy like an angular momentum. It has all those properties that ordinary, like a baseball has. Okay, so Einstein said, well, the sport of light is not this sort of thing. That this vibration of some physical medium filling all space, but it is a medium of its own self. It is matter. It is like matter. If he was trying to put electromagnetic phenomena on the same footing as matter, that's fine. Okay, so then, if that's the case, it is reasonable to try to extend this principle to apply not only to mechanical phenomena but also to light. Okay, so that's the basic point here. So let's say down here, so it is reasonable. To extend the principle P1 from applying to just mechanical phenomena also to light, because Einstein was trying to put mechanical phenomena on the same footing. Okay, so the immediate problem with that is that if you take the relativity principle and you take Einstein's statement of the constitutivity of light, you say that the motion of the source, both of these are very believable. And so even if you've gone away with ether or whatever, this will be obvious to you. This will be obvious to you, etc. And this is also very believable. It's something very natural. If you put, if you think of electromagnetic phenomena as physical phenomena in its own right, carrying light and magnetism and all that, just like a mechanical, baseball floating in space, then it's reasonable to try to understand the relativity principle to include light as well. So these are two believable principles. There are two starting points that everyone in Einstein's mind would have said, yeah, that's reasonable. If you take these two together, they imply it's P2 prime. And so I believe this is an exercise for you to show that logically these two are system. This one here is totally unbelievable. Remember, this is the one that's saying that if I have a flashlight at rest there, I'll go back to C, the speed of light, whether I'm running toward the flashlight or away from the flashlight. That makes no sense whatsoever. Okay? But these two are very believable together, so divided. In and of themselves, they're not radical at all. But when you combine them together, they predict something totally radical. Okay? So the point of special relativity is to try to understand how this is believable, how this is natural. Okay? And it required a complete revision of our understanding of space and time on. Okay, so having said all that, let's get back to this diagram over here, and let's think about how we determine that K. Alright, so remember that when we're dealing with simple sound in air, we determine K just by assuming universal time. So that CC plus D is equal to KCT, and that gives us the buffer shift. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to replace the idea of universal time. We're going to replace that assumption with the relativity principle K1. Okay, so I would much sooner accept something like the relativity principle, which has a real feeling of something universal, a universal truth about our universe, and something very natural, and something that simplifies things. Okay, so I would much rather accept this than accept this sort of add-on universal time assumption. Okay, so we're going to drop the universal time assumption and replace it with K1. Okay, and then we're going to determine what K is, and we'll find that K is not the same value that we had before, and we find that loss of time is not the same as Alice's time. Okay, so how do we do this? So this is actually a very important point that we reached here. Okay, so if you've been sleeping up till now, it's like wake up. Okay, so this is the most important part right here. This is the part of special relativity. This is all the logic of special relativity in these two pictures. Okay, so let's take this picture over here and let's draw the simplified version of it. Just look at part of that picture. Okay, so what we thought is Alice at rest. We're taking the point that Alice is at rest, so her world line is vertical. So this is Alice at rest. Okay, and what she does is a simple experiment. What she does is at some time on her clock reads 0. What she does is she takes a second clock and she zeroes that clock. She zeroes both clocks at the same time. She throws that clock so that clock drifts with respect to her with some velocity d. Okay, so previously we had called that Bob. Okay, well, she picks up Bob and throws Bob across the room. Okay, Bob's got a clock attached. She's trying to use the Bob. She's interested in the clock attached to the wrist. Okay, and so Bob, if you're taking across the room like this, she waits a time t on her watch, and then she sends a light signal chasing after Bob. Okay, and that light signal, when it reaches the clock that Bob has, the clock is designed to freeze, stop time. Okay, and then when Alice does this, afterwards, she runs after Bob. She grabs hold of him, looks at his watch, looks at what the total time was. She looks at how much time he lasts on that clock when she threw across the room. Okay, and according to our picture here, it's going to be whatever time is here. The time here is K times that. Okay, I'm just dropping the C because of the C here. I'm just dropping the C. Just to simplify the picture. Okay, just focus on the main point. Okay, so whatever time Alice waits, this time is KT, and K, we're trying to figure that out. Okay, so Alice does a simple experiment. She throws a clock with a velocity T, waits a time T, how much time elapses when the clock receives that light signal. Okay, so she does, I guess, a simple experiment. Okay. Now we're going to apply the relativity principle. So the relativity principle says that for any two observers, any two inertial observers, given to any two inertial observers in uniform relative motion. Well, this is certainly true of Alice and Bob, which is floating out in space. Okay, from the point of view of taking the point of view that Alice is at rest, she sees Bob here. The light response TD. Well, we can also take the point of view of Bob, who just looks at Alice and says, I'm at rest, and you're the one who's moving the speed minus D in the other direction. So given any two inertial observers in uniform relative motion, certainly like Alice and Bob, they're in space drifting around with a relative velocity D. Both are equally entitled to consider themselves to be at rest. Okay, so Alice has done this experiment with the point of view that she is at rest. Okay, now we will allow Bob to do exactly the same experiment with him at rest. So how do I draw Bob's world line? Okay, so Bob's world line is like this. So it's now Bob that we're taking to be at rest. And Alice is moving backwards, Alice is moving this way. Okay, and Bob's going to conduct exactly the same experiment. What he's going to do is, when he's at rest, and Alice is drifting this way, or rather just her clock is drifting this way, so he picks up Alice, he throws her this way, we'll just speed D in the other direction. Okay, and he waits a time T on his clock, and then he sends a light signal chasing after Alice's clock. When Alice's clock receives that light signal, the time freezes, and then Bob comes running after Alice, catches up with her, looks at the time that he elapsed on her clock. Okay, so it's the time T, what is the time here? Okay, it's also KT. Okay, it's the same K here. else to be at rest. Okay, so the result of and they're doing identical experiments. Okay, so the results seem to be identical. Okay, they can't actually be able to distinguish who's actually at rest and who's actually at rest versus who's actually at rest. Both points of view are equally valid. Okay, and so they're doing the same experiments, but you get exactly the same result. So this is the same experiment. Okay, so that's it. So is that clear? Are you happy with that? Because if you understand that, then everything follows from this. Okay, so let's see what follows from this. So far, does it seem reasonable and natural? Does it seem believable? Okay. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take that picture and we're going to make two modifications to it. The modifications contain no physics whatsoever. Okay, they're just looking at it from a different point of view. Okay, so the first modification we're going to do is so Bob has done an experiment in which Alice is in motion, so on and so forth. We're going to take Bob's experiment and we're going to look at it from Alice's point of view. Okay, so now Alice's world line will be what? Alice's world line is vertical like this. Okay, and it's Bob is to the right. Okay, but Bob is the one who's doing the experiment. Bob is the one who waits his time t on his clock and then sends the light signal over to Alice. And how much time has he passed on Alice's clock when she receives that light signal? Okay, t. Okay, so we have this picture. So this is, I haven't done anything here. All I've done is I've taken that picture. The information in that picture which says Bob waits his time t, Alice waits time kt before receiving that signal. I've just put the t and the kt in the picture that's now drawn from Alice's perspective. Alice seeing a graph, so I haven't done anything. So this is Bob's experiment. Okay, from the point of view, COB, from the point of view that Alice is at rest. Okay. And that is only so we hear that? Okay, so the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to try to connect this picture with this picture. Okay, so in this picture we have a T here and a KC here. In this picture we have a K. See, you'll notice that this triangle here is the same as this triangle here. Okay, so this side is KCT. So we want to actually KCT here, so this is T. But the fact is that no matter what, the T here is arbitrary. T could be 5 seconds, 5 years, whatever. The point is whatever appears here, to get what appears here, just multiply by K. Okay, so we could make T anything we like. Okay, so let's make T the exact same picture, and we'll replace T with this thing, K times CT. What's K? Let's make a K picture. Okay, so if this is KT here, what is this? K squared T. Okay, now in this picture here, I've plotted TA to TB. It's just fine here. But we know that we want to actually plot C times TA, C times TB, which means we're going to C's here. Okay, so now this picture here now looks identical to a certain subset of this picture, which is this triangle here. You've got a KCT here. And so the result of this then is, are we okay so far? Alright. Okay, so we're okay. Let me ask you, if I look at this picture, if I compare that picture with that picture, what can I learn about it? What can I learn about the situation? Yes, sir. Okay, so this is K times CT. That's K times CT. This is K squared times CT. So K squared times CT must equal this, which is CT equals T plus T. Okay, so that's crucial. So it tells us that CT plus T plus T is equal to this then, K squared times CT. Okay, so we will call this equation 2 prime. Now if you compare with what we had before, when we made the assumption that universal time, so we simply assumed that this distance was the same as this amount of time was the same as that amount of time, we got some equation for K. I'll just remind you what that equation was. We called it equation 2. It was CT plus D equals K CT. Okay, so this was our equation 2, which was based on universal time. This is based on principle P1. Okay, so notice that there's some similarity here. CT plus QT, we have CT plus D here. Instead of K squared, CT, we have KCT. That's a square, that's not a square. Okay, so there's a difference here. We're going to get a different value of K. Is it? Are you doing that? Which one first right now? Yeah. I'm going to have to talk with the other thing. I'm going to have to talk with the other But this analogy is harder to suppose that we've got volunteering passengers. They drew the clock, Alice waits on T, send a signal. If she waits 5 seconds and sends the signal out, and it's not that long, so when you guys read, she'll get a value for K over. That's what we're doing. This is here, right? So we're going to go thing. That's CT right there. So like that's the CT we're using right there, right? And so we're using that time still, we're using that time over there. So are we saying that the same time for both observers? No. For those T's different, and those T's are different. Yeah, the capital T over here refers to the time of Alice, and the Alice waits. The capital T refers to the ballers, and they ain't talking the same. Okay, so I'm going to call them different names, but then we're talking that here. Yeah, good point. Okay, so we have these two equations, and we also had, recall equation 1. So then we recall equation 1, because I don't have it down here. What's equation 1? Okay, hang on, what is it? D over CT equals, D over C, 1 minus D over C. Okay, so equation number 1 is true regardless. Equation number 1 is trivial. Okay, there's no physics in it. Okay, equation number 2 or 2 prime, well, physics wise. If we assume universal time, we get this. If we assume principle T1, we get that. Okay, so when we combine equation number 1 with equation number 2, we got the non-relativistic Doppler shift. Okay, now we're going to combine equation 1 with 2 prime, and we'll find a new way of determining K, and I'll leave the algebra to you. If you combine these two equations together and solve for K, you get K is equal to a square root, because of the square there, you get a square root of 1 plus D over C, divided by 1 minus D over C. Okay? And that factor of K is a Doppler shift in exactly, or 1 over K actually, is a Doppler shift in exactly the same way that we had the Doppler shift for it's found in air. Okay, so this is called the relativistic Doppler shift. So I'm not going to talk about that. We have an exercise, which will give some examples, and we are working with this Doppler shift to see what the results are. But basically, if Bob is drifting away from Alice, she has a light signal. Let's say a laser, say a green laser, and she's shining toward Bob. If Bob is drifting drifting away, she will see that laser light redshifted towards the frequency lower, so redshifted, so the light will be redder. If Bob is moving toward Alice, he will see that green light shifted towards the blue. Okay, so just like a slider coming toward her, you pitch higher, lower, sending highs or light. But the light is, the Doppler shift is slightly different. What I want you to notice about this Doppler shift is, well, in the case of the non-relativistic Doppler shift of this, 1 over 1 minus V over C. And for this guy, so the Doppler shift 1 over A is 1 over A is 1 minus D over C. Okay, so remember, for the non-relativistic Doppler shift, we could consider the possibility that Bob was moving supersonic, and moving faster than speed of sound. We could easily put into this equation of D greater than C, in which case he hears the thing backwards, right? Have we talked about that? Okay, what happens if we put a D bigger than C in this equation? You can't, because or negative. But with a D bigger than C here, what's the D equal to first C? So 1 minus the negative 1. Where the numerator is positive, the negative number on the square root, and we're going to have a Doppler shift. So I can have that. So right away, built into this Doppler shift is the idea that Bob has more confidence if you like. Okay, so there are exercises on this, so I want you to I get a lot of those exercises. Okay, so let's just leave it at that. So sure, relative to Doppler shift is very, very important. This is how we measure velocities of things. Right? If you want to measure the velocity of a galaxy, well, I can't go out there with a big meter stick and a clock and say, yes, this galaxy is moving across my ear because they're great, right? It's going to be more practical than that. And so what we do is we measure. So here's us over here, and here's this galaxy, and this galaxy is drifting away from us. And so the light that's coming to us, we say is emitted by excited atoms. So we know exactly the frequency of that light according to the atom itself. From the point of view of the atom is emitting light of a certain color. Of a certain frequency, but then because the galaxy is in motion with respect to us, we will see that exact frequency is shifted down to a lower frequency. And by measuring the amount of shift, we determine the precessional velocity of that galaxy with respect to us. It's an extremely important tool. And these velocities, the velocities of galaxies, become relativistic if they're far enough away. So we actually need this relativistic formula instead of this guy. You can show that for small values of D, this is the same as this. Maybe that's an exercise for you to think about using the binomial approximation. That's what I told you about yesterday. If you use the binomial approximation, this is the same as that for small D over C. But anyways, I'll leave that to the problems. So the important thing about this case for us is that it tells us something very important about the nature of time. Okay, we'll see that presently. Yeah. So, if you were to measure, so then when we need that velocity that we get from a single sheet, what is that telling us relative to the fact that we know it? Okay, so let me just make a clarification here. So when we say that, so what's actually happening is something like this. So here's us, and here's this galaxy, and the space between us and this galaxy is expanding. Okay, so when a photon is emitted over here, and it's having through the space is expanding, and the photon gets stretched, its wavelength gets longer. Okay, and so that's a redshift, which is the same kind of thing as this redshift. Are we? Yeah, I was thinking it. Yeah, I think it was starting with some other thing. Okay, so, but yeah, good question. Okay, so let's look at the important thing here, which is time dilation. What does this tell us about the nature of time? What does K tell us? Okay, so let's look at some numbers here. How many want to see some numbers? Only one of you. Oh, great. Okay, so you guys are all like really hardcore theory, aren't you? Okay, so I want to see some numbers. Okay, so here we've got, we're going to draw these curves again. So we're going to do make sure we have CT here, so CTA, and Bob is drifting over here, CTE, and here is our experiment. That was for some time, and she sent this light signal over. And when Bob receives that light signal, he is some distance D away from Alice. Okay, so let's put in some numbers here. There's some velocity D. Let's suppose that D is 4/5 the speed of light. Okay, so what that means is that how would I draw this line graphically? In this picture, well, what I would do is I would go 4 units to the right and 5 units up. So on my graph paper, wherever my graph paper is, over little squares, I'll go 4 units to the right, 5 units up, or 8 and 10 or whatever. Okay, that would give me this line, okay, which is slightly to the left of 45 degrees. So that's 25 degrees. He's moving south. Okay, let's suppose this way. And let's suppose that Alice, so Bob drifts by Alice like this, crosses her path at this location. She waits a certain time under 1 before she puts on her laser, and let's suppose that time is very small, 10 to the minus 8 seconds. Okay, so that tells us that C times this time, that's 3 times 58 meters per second, times 10 to the minus 8 seconds is 30 meters. And remember, space and time are measured in meters. Both are measured in meters. So this time CT here is 3 meters. That's actually this distance. Okay, so 3 meters, that just means how far does light travel in 10 to the minus 8 seconds. Plus 50 times 10 to the minus 8 seconds, it'll travel 3 meters. Okay, that's the time analysis. Watch. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then she said this out, this is 45, et cetera, what else do we need here? Okay, also, recall equation number 1 there. So T divided by CT is V over C minus whatever you see. So, let me see. So, what that tells us is that T is this thing times CT. Okay, so what's this? D over C is 4/5. Divided by 1 minus 4/5 times CT. We figured out CT is in the meters. So what is that? That's 12 meters. That's right, we'll wake up your algebra brains. Okay, and so then, and also K is this funny square root, 1 minus, 1 plus D over C. 1 minus D over C. Okay, so that's the square root of 1 plus 4/5. Divided by 1 minus 4/5. So what's that? That was fast. So the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, so that's what that K factor is. So physically, what does that K factor mean? Well, it means that if Alice is sending light to Bob, so according to Alice, she's sending light at a certain frequency, Bob is drifting away from her at 80% speed of light, lower than C. Okay, he's going to measure that light at a lower frequency. How much lower? By a factor of 3. Okay, if she's sending light at 3,000 hertz or whatever, 3,000 times 10 to the whatever hertz, he'll measure it at 1,000 times 10 to the whatever hertz. Okay, so that's the redshift. what can we do with all that? Well, now we can say, oh, okay, well, we know t is, we just figured out it was 12 meters, so this distance is 12 meters. Which means, so Alice weighs 10 to minus 8 seconds. Clicks the laser on, it catches up with Bob when he has moved 12 meters away from Alice. Okay, so if we know this is 12 meters, what's that? This is also 12 meters. Okay, so what is that total time? So that total time is 15 meters. There. So 3 meters plus 12 meters is 15 meters. So 16 meters elapsed on Alice's clock. And now we convert meters into elapsed time. So the time elapsed on Alice's clock, that always needs to change. So the change in the time elapsed now, or the time Alice's clock, the elapsed time is 15 meters. What do I do? Divide by C. Okay, so what is that? C is 3 to 78, so we got 3. 5. 15 over 3 is 5. And then the 8 down here means it's 5 seconds. So remember that Alice waited 10 to minus 8 seconds. And the elapsed time, and then if you send that light signal out, it's reflected back. The total time is 5 times 10 to minus 8, so 5 times 1. Okay, and also, what we want here is this guy here. K sub small. That's the time elapsed for all. Okay, so that's the important one here. Okay, so let's work that out. So K sub times CT, we just figured out K. That operation is the factor of 3. And we figured out CT. CT is just 3 meters. So that's 9 meters. Okay, and that tells us that the time elapsed on Alice's clock. From the moment that he crosses Alice's path to the moment that he receives the light signal from Alice is 9 years divided by 3, which is what? 3. Okay. So let's draw a picture of this. So here's Alice. Here's Bob. This is just a simplified picture here. And let me see. The total time for Alice is 5. Let's drop the 10 to minus 8. The total time for Alice is 5. Okay, so you see zeros are here. At 1, she emits the light signal, and then it comes back. 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the picture's like this. She emits the light signal, and it comes back. Okay, and for Bob, let's just get rid of that. For Bob, the elapsed time is 3. Okay, so he zeros is here, and it goes 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, when Alice's clock is 5, Bob's clock is 3. 5 seconds elapsed for Alice, or when 5 seconds elapsed for Alice, only 3 seconds elapsed for Bob. Okay? So, that's part of the picture. This is the universal time. The picture looks like this. When 1 second elapses for Alice, according to Newtonian time, we just horizontal lines like this. This would correspond to 1 second elapsed for Bob. But from this picture, how much time is actually elapsed for Bob? So that's more than 1 second. What is it exactly? 3. Take this. Take this in a second. Okay, so this is conservation. So basically, the whole thing behind all of this is Einstein's attempt to put light on the same footing as matter. To put, yeah, that's it. That's really all it is. Okay, to recognize that, matter can have physical properties like momentum, energy, angular momentum, all that stuff. Maxwell's equations tell us that light has exactly the same properties. It has momentum, angular momentum, energy. It can carry all of these things as it moves through the vacuum of space. And so Einstein said, well, let's put the two of them on the same footing. That's all he really said. And when you do that, you discover that the only way you can do that is if there are such things as time dilation. One of the consequences of doing that is, or what's required is that you have this time dilation. Okay, so the idea of universal time is broken here. Okay, so we realize that that's no longer the case. Okay, alright, so let's just do this in general. So here we plug in some numbers. Let's just take 2 minutes here to make this general and come up with a general formula for time dilation. And so one that you will have seen before. Okay, so in general, our picture is like this. CTA, CTD, and K, CT. And this is Alice's essence. This is case according to Alice, time according to Alice, time according to Bob, and all the usual stuff. So what we're going to do is just change location here. Okay, we're going to recognize that there is a triangle here. We're going to relabel the side of the triangle. We're going to call this side over here. We're going to call it C times delta CA. This is the time elapsed for Alice, times C, delta CA times C. Okay? This is the time here elapsed for Bob. We're going to call that C times delta CD, delta CD times C. And this is the distance that Bob moves in Alice's space. So that's the change. That's delta XA. So we have the triangle with those 3 sides. And so we have delta XA, what is that? That's just E. We have C times delta CD, what is that? That's just KCT. And C times delta CA is this plus this. Okay, so now you'll notice, and also we're going to use equation number 1. Okay, so we just changed our notation a little bit. Okay, and so what we find is, so what is delta TA? Delta TA, all I do is I take this right hand side and divide by C. So that's T plus D over C. Okay. So that's T plus, what is D divided by C? D divided by C is what? It's junk times capital T. Okay. And so how do I simplify this? Let me just simplification down. So, or T, because we're taking D divided by C. So D divided by C is just this part of it. So we bring the T over to that side. So when I add this to this, how does it simplify? Back up the T and then what do we get? And what is the simplified? Okay, so simplify to that. And so let's take the ratio. Because it's always just a ratio. 1 time relative to another time and so on. And so the ratio of delta CD, delta CD, the ratio of those two, let's see what is delta CD. Delta CD is what? Just KT, because you have lots of C's, right? That's just KT. And delta TA we have is 1 over 1 minus D over C times C. And this C cancels out. Okay? So the result we're going to get is independent of how long Alice and Bob waits. Okay? This is the universal result, the universal relationship between those two observers. Okay? So what is K? Well, so K was, so we 1 over this, and the numerator was 1 minus D over C. So that's that part of it. We're going to multiply by K. What was K? K was 1 plus D over C divided by 1 minus D over C square root. Okay, so how does this simplify? How does it simplify that? Yeah, the square. So it's okay. So here I have a 1 here out there, and a square root out there. So this is the square root of 1 minus D over C, and the square root of 1 plus D over C. And so if I bring both of these things together on the square root sign, you know, a minus b is a plus b is a square minus b squared. So I get 1 minus b squared. And so the ratio of the two times is this. So at the end of the day, our final result is, sorry. Okay, so our final result then is this. Just getting rid of the C, so we get it simpler. In any situation like this, where you have, say, Alice, we consider her to be at rest, we consider her to be at rest, and Bob drifting with some velocity. V, relative to Alice, what we have is Alice's clock with something like this, tick, 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 time is ticking away like this. Bob's clock, relative to Alice's in this picture, is ticking slower. So the picture looks something like that. Okay, and if we compare carefully, and if we look at this interval of time, delta TA, so what is time delta TA lasts for Alice? A certain time elapses for Bob. And we find that the amount of time elapses for Bob, given that ratio there, is the square root of 1 minus D squared over C squared. That's the time elapses for Alice. And so that's a general formula for time dilation. And if we were to stick in D over C before this, what is this thing? What is that square root? What is it? Okay, so the square root of 1 minus 16 over 25 is the square root of 9 over 25. It's 3 over 5. Okay, so let's see this works. We take 3 over 5. So in our previous picture we have this. We have, what do we have? What do we have on here? 15? Let's see if that works. If I take 3/5 delta TA is 15 here. What's 3/5 of 15? 9. Okay, that's 9 because that's 9 minutes. Okay, so time is not universal. Okay? Time depends upon the observer. So first I'll describe, let's remind you sort of in physical terms what it is we have discovered, and then I'll show you that there's some very interesting geometry behind all of that. Okay, so here is Alice's space. So Alice is at rest in her space. And here's her clock ticking away, and here's her spatial axis. And she can see things happening in her space at various times according to her watch. Okay, so she can see various events happening. So an event is something that happens at some point in space at some time. So that's an event. So it happened at this location in space at a certain time. And here's another event happening at a different location in space at a different time. Okay, so let's suppose we just put those two events in Alice's space-time. So the first event was over here, and maybe it occurs at this time. So at this location at this time is an event. Okay, and then a little bit to the right of that, a little bit later is another event. So if it's to the right, and a little bit later in time is another event. So this event over here. Okay, so for Alice, those two events happen at different locations in space. One of them is here and one of them is there. Okay, so there's a spatial separation between them, and there's also a time separation between them. Okay? Now, if I have two events happening like that, like this and this, you can imagine that there is someone walking in Alice's space, piercing through her space with a constant velocity, such that those two events happen at the same location for that person. Okay, so this person is drifting at a speed such that when this event happens, he crosses that location, and he drifts across, and then this event happens, he crosses that location. Okay, so from Bob's point of view, the first event happens right here, this microphone, and the second event happens right here, same location. Okay, so it's always possible then to find a Bob. If we've got two events like this, it's always possible to find a Bob that will connect those two events. So here's Bob is just here. Okay, so for Bob, these two events happen right on this road line, right at this location, at two different times. So this event happens first, he's watching his clock, tick, 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 then that event happens. Okay, during the space between those two events, during that time, his clock is ticking away. Okay, and what we had discovered is this sort of thing, a triangle like this, and we had, suppose that between those two events, a certain amount of time elapses for Alice. She says, oh, an amount delta TA elapses for me. So since we're calling C, we only have TA. The length of this side in meters will be C delta TA. And Alice says, well, the separation in space, the separation of distance between those two events is this distance here. Then we're not saying. And for Bob, the amount of time elapsed for him will be delta TV. It will be different from delta TA. Okay, we're calling C times TV, so it's C times delta TV. Okay. So that's sort of the physical picture. We have these two events, we can always connect them, provided that the events happen far enough apart in time, such that a light signal can go from one to the other. Then it's always possible to find a Bob that will connect those two events, for whom those events happen at the same location.